My
Hello, I'm Colin.
And I'm not Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
thank fuck for that, John. Thank fuck for that. You both well? Friday afternoon, early evening.
Aye,
Good.
it's been a productive day. And
Mhm.
here we are now.
And I'm pleased to see nobody's made an effort to dress up for Halloween or anything like that. And this, please, I hate all that stuff. There's no one for dressing up and fucking face paint and all that shit. It could be like a misery guts with it, but
Give me
it's not.
time, Mike. Give me time. It's right up
It's
my street. You get
is
me.
it all over it.
Mm.
John, will you be taking the wee Injit guys in later? Are they still on the wee side of things?
Well, my wife asked me earlier if I fancied coming out. She's going to take the two of them out. She's going down to her sister's, and I sort of made a noise that suggested I was considering it, and then just never followed up. And then she's away out.
Good
So
tactic.
That's
she'd
well
also say
played.
to me like, "Well, I'm out. You can just go to the gym." So I'm like, "All right, I'll go to the gym." But my daughter was asking me this morning. She was away to preschool in a wee skeleton sort of costume, and she asked me,
Hmm.
"Daddy, what are you getting dressed up as?" And I said, "Like, I'm just going to be scruffy, hairy daddy as normal."
Fair enough.
Like dressed up
Right.
as an athlete with the sounds of it. To go to the
Aye.
gym. Your your wee shorts on.
You, John, you can dress up as the smartest person in the room now. Like you've got
I've
you've got you've got official credentials to do it.
I've got scabby basketball shorts that are worn at the back for the amount of time I've sat on the bike. So no, I'm not an athlete by any means.
Okay, look, right. Let's get stuck into the preview. So, still coming this episode, we will hear from Professor Fitball, get some words of wisdom. We'll also be hearing the champion of the underdog as well. We'll be looking at John's team. John's picked a team for the weekend, so we'll have a look at that, and we'll also deal with any comments that come up on YouTube. The first of which is from JStar 1964, who said Chaiwa done the press conference today, so hopefully means he starts tomorrow. Well, I will talk about lineup in a wee bit. Colin, how are you feeling for the game in the morning?
Um, that's a funny one. I hadn't really thought about it. You know that.
Handy for what we're doing.
I know. Well, is it? I don't know if it is or not. I don't know if it makes any difference. To be
I
quite
suppose
honest.
doesn't usually, does it?
Nah. So I'm going. So I'm looking forward to going. I'm hoping it's not too cold. Um, like it's coming at that time of year when you didn't really want to go to the football. It's too cold. Okay.
No such thing as bad weather,
Nah.
Colin. Just
Mm,
inappropriate clothing.
right. Okay. Aye. So I've not been to Livingston for ages. So get out there. We comfortably. What was it? Only a fortnight ago. Comfortably beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then they might. We've taken a bit of a dunt during the week there, haven't we? That's the thing. Like we won two in a row. If we were going into
Aye.
that on Wednesday, we would have really been fancying it. But then just a narrow loss midweek's kind of changed the mood a wee bit. I still expect us to win. Looking forward to it.
Aye. What about you, John?
Optimistic of victory as well. Looking forward to the game. I'm hoping that if Colin kind of gets sat beside me, I'll maybe be able to go and mooch over and find a seat
I'm
beside
in the
him.
block. I'm in the next block. Couldn't get that block, John.
Aye, so that'll be good. I say it'll be good. Livingston's not one of my favourite stadiums, but as Colin suggested, like we beat them a couple of weeks ago, beat them earlier in the season. I might. It's probably going to like Lady Luck's probably not going to shine on me like I was saying to Colin. I should have put a bet on Cliche to score the other week when I heard that he was starting. So I might do it tomorrow because he seems to like a goal against them.
Mm-hmm. Aye,
Uh,
worth a fiver, eh?
but otherwise, I know I'm not particularly concerned. And actually, I think had we won last weekend, won midweek, I think we might have started to get a wee bit overconfident. So it's maybe kind of like refocused our attentions on this weekend's game.
Mm. Green Tea says it's a hard place to get a result.
Hard place to go.
Uh,
Absolutely, green tea.
um, Mark Barry says boil in Obita and Chiva start freshen it up a bit. Need to guard against it. Will be easy at Livi just because we beat them 4-0 recently. We still win though. How much do you think the previous games come into it for this one, Colin?
So I don't know if it. How I think it'll come into it. I think there may be a few changes to the
Mm-hmm.
team. I think I was reading a. You know what? I never read the article in the Observer. I read the headline. which I accept might not be reflective of what's in the article because that's how it works. But they did say, I think it was Patrick said, based on his Gray's post-match comments, so I think it was something like he doesn't tend to make a lot of changes, but based on his post-match interview, we might see a few.
Mm.
And normally the boys are there every day, aren't they? Speaking to folks, so I'd guess that they might know. I've not seen the wee photo for Hibs today though, John. Have you? You know the wee teaser that you get, the guaranteed
No.
starters.
But actually,
just to see if there's any clues in there.
that was a question I was going to ask you because I forget, was it Jay had said something about Chaiwa doing the
Chaiwa,
press
yeah.
conference? So I did actually watch a bit of
Chaiwa's
the
in
press
it.
conference earlier.
Chaiwa, Bowie, Hanley, and Rocky.
Oh, that's interesting because David Gray had mentioned that O'Hara had trained, but they were going to make a decision on him tomorrow. But the question I was going to ask around Chaiwa and players in the press conference, does the theory around the players that are pictured training extend to who does the press conference? Is that a given that the player that does the conference, do they
I don't know
start?
how they do it. They might do it on a rota basis sort of thing, but I'm not sure because I would have expected it to be somebody that's playing, but I'm sure there was one just a few weeks ago where they were on the bench. Can't remember who it was, and I thought, well, that's that theory fucked. Because I always thought before that, whoever does the press conference, well, they're starting.
Levitt did one where he was on the bench, I'm sure. Fairly
he?
recently. Aye, I'm sure. It rings a bell because I clocked it for that very reason.
Aye.
Although my
There was
memory is
somebody.
shite, so
No, there
it
was
might not be
somebody,
him.
definitely. Aye. So I don't know. Was it Chai what done the press conference? Was it?
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Right.
spoke very well actually. He complained
Aye.
about the Scottish weather, and one of the reporters had suggested that it was going to get worse.
Aye, it was good. Yeah,
Shocker, innit? Yeah.
brace yourself.
Ticket sales look a wee bit slow, eh? Like there was a
Mm.
lot of
There's
tickets
loads
available.
available.
How significant was that result on Wednesday night for just sort of scunneling folk, do you think, Colin?
Well, it seems to have, right? There seems to have been a bit of fallout on it, when you read the message boards and Twitter and stuff. But I mean, I would have thought a lot of ticket sales would have been done before Wednesday, though. But they obviously haven't been. We're on the back of 2 wins. It's sort of payday, innit? Or a week since payday for most folk. I know not everybody gets paid, but usually 25th to the 30th is your sort of standard times. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's, and it's not quite that time of year yet when there's nights out, Christmas presents to buy. All my wife started, but you know what I mean. There's no. I don't know. I don't know what it is because we weren't that bad. Like last week, we were third in the league and we were flying high just the way we went up at Aberdeen after
Aye.
hammering Livingston.
I don't know what ticket sales have looked like at Livi, like in the first fixture there. But my impression of Hibs at Livi previously is that there's usually a lot of ticket sales on the day. And actually, when I bought the ticket, I want to say it was last weekend. I can't remember exactly when I bought it, but you'll remember that I was asking folk that we know if anyone was going, and I got my ticket the same day. I think it was maybe last Friday, and ticket sales were slow or looked slow then. So I don't think that Wednesday's result has played an impact. However, had it been a positive result, you might have seen a few more bodies go. We'll never know.
I only got mine today, lunchtime-ish, or just before lunchtime, and there was loads. And in the end sections, the middle's fairly sold out, but we sometimes go behind the goals and all that there.
Aye, we normally have like almost 3 sides it is, so
And nothing anywhere near being
Nah.
sold.
Maybe folk are sick of the sight of Livingston. Like we've only just played them 2 weeks ago, so maybe they didn't want to see them again.
do they still have the sign
Disappointing.
going in, John? Because you live in Livingston, you're right. I hope we're not giving too much personal information away there, right? But going in, they used to have a "Make It in Livingston" sign when I lived in Livingston.
I know the
Is
sign
that
that you're
still
talking
there?
about. I don't think so.
Nah.
I think the last time I saw it was on a retro page on Facebook.
Fair enough. Right, well, we'll leave that there then. So Chris Black said, "Evening, lads. Hopefully a couple of changes tomorrow. I'd honestly allow Bowie a seat on the bench." And J Star said, "Yeah, I agree, Bowie. Not great just now. 1 goal in 10 games." John, do you want to talk us through your team?
Aye, but it's interesting some of the conversation about potentially making changes, and I can understand the desire or the argument for it, given that it's the third game in a week, and maybe some fresh legs would make a difference. However, I've gone for minimal changes in my lineup, so starting with Salinger and working from right to left, as is tradition.
Mhm.
Ahora Hanley, Iredale, Megwa, Mulligan, Barlaser, Nadin, McGrath, Cliche, and Bowie.
Okay, so you drop in Chris Cadden. John, you are a champion of the underdog. Has the criticism for Chris Cadden been justified?
No.
Okay, right. And you brought in Megwa. What was your thinking there?
Do you know, I listened to the phone in. I think I listened to a bit of the phone in this morning, and it was Joe Capaldi, I think.
Yep.
Is his surname. He'd suggested Megwa, and I thought to myself, do you know what? That's not the worst suggestion. So I think Cadden, I was playing where we rumour that he'd gone off for an early poo against Aberdeen, and I wonder if he was maybe feeling effects. And we did suggest, I'm sure, last week with Levitt being unwell, that maybe there was a bug going through, or the potential for a bug to work its way through the Hibs team. And I wonder if maybe Cadden was suffering the effects of that. And I think we've all been in a situation where we've had I don't know if you can call it the Gary Glitters anymore, but he's maybe feeling a wee bit weak. And maybe that's why he was exposed for pace so many times during the week. So, to Joe's point, we have a large squad, or a squad where you've got covering multiple positions. So why not put Megwa in? If you have someone in the first team who's underperforming a little bit, or is maybe needs a rest through illness or injury, let's put one of the backups in. Let's give in a game like this. Like, I'm not no disrespect to Livingston, but if Megwa is going to make it at this level of football, he needs to be able to perform against someone like Livingston, and this is an
Yep.
ideal opportunity for him to get a start.
He was playing against Livingston last season
He did it
Yeah.
this season at the first game.
on the cup.
Aye, and he played well in that game as well. Colin, what do you make of John's team?
I think there'll be more changes than that. Can you hear the dog going mad?
Nah,
Guess who's just arrived to the fucking door? I told you what I was talking about before.
geysers.
Aye. I've written it up on my board here, so that's why I'm turning around for
Right,
those that are
okay.
watching on YouTube. I've went for Salinger and goals, but I think he might bring Obita back, and whether that's for Iredale or Cadden, I think it'll be for Cadden. All right, I would for Cadden. I don't think he's. I know he's just back for injury. Do you give him longer? That was kind of what it was. Do you give him longer in the team to get himself back to what he was, or
To play
is
through
he?
it.
Aye, because is it just because he's been injured and he's still trying to find his feet? He's maybe missed a bit of pre-season, or is he just like off form? I don't know. So I think Abita might come in though, and I put Megwa down as well actually, but then I think he might just. I don't know if he would just put Cadden back in because it's Livingston. You know, he had a good game against Livingston 2 weeks ago. I know I said everybody's went. He was like 2 assists and one of the best players in the pitch, right? But I went for Clige and Boyle up front, and my midfield was different as well. Because I did swither about putting Mulligan at right wing back because he did tighten it up out there the other night. And for his type of play, he drives forward with the ball, which you would think suits the wing back position, or it should. But anyway, I didn't, so I went for Barlas or Chaiwa and Mulligan as my middle three.
I wonder if they might take the opportunity to rest Mulligan in this game because he's played pretty much every game, hasn't he? Like
Apart from against Livingston, he came off the bench.
So it might be an opportunity for him, particularly with Chaiwa coming on and playing well. So I think we might see Megwa on the right, or he might put Cadden back in just to say, "Kim, I took you off early. I still believe in you."
That's what was.
I'll start you.
Maybe just have a conversation with him today, find out how that Deoralight's going down.
Aye, see if he's all right. Chris said, sadly can't make tomorrow due to having to work. Madness that I scheduled myself to this. Hopefully a few pick-up tickets late. And he's banging the drum for Mulligan and Chaiwa into the middle. J-Star says Nicky needs to stay in the team, needs a good run. And Green Tea said Iredale hasn't been great either. I think, Colin, there's some merit in that, keeping you obviously want players to earn their place, and you don't want players not in form in the team for too long. But there is a strong case for letting a player play through a bit of a bad patch to come out the other side.
There is. It's almost you've got to pull the plug at the right point, though. Like how long? And Abita must be sitting there going, "What the fuck have I done wrong?" Because he had a good start to the season. He's found to sell out the team, and we're not performing well. Really, like I know we won the last 2 games, but we weren't good the other night. So is it reactionary because it's one game? I don't know. I'm maybe getting dragged into that myself.
It's easy done, but I think I think there's a strong argument for changes anyway because we've had quite a few games close together. It feels like we have. So I think we'll see some changes. And Clegy and Bowie, John, were you tempted to change the front two at all?
I think there's a try not to be reactionary to like say Wednesday night. I think the game before that they done all right together. Wednesday night I thought it was a bit. I don't know if it was that they were ineffectual in and of themselves, or if it was like a lack of service. And then, like if you think about earlier in the game as well, there was we had to reshuffle things a wee bit because Cadden had the trots.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Aye,
Sorry,
it's just you alleging it as well, isn't it? Like,
so I think like one of the reasons why I think I only actually made one change in my team, which was to bring Megwa in, was to try and get a little bit of consistency. Like I'm conscious that it is 3 games in a week, albeit it's still early in the season, and I'm reluctant to make too many changes because especially after Wednesday's result. You want to, I think, as you've suggested, give the players the opportunity to say like I'm good enough, and the manager to say like I believe in you. But also, if the changes that if you make too many changes and you interrupt like the natural sort of rhythm and fluency of the team, and that negatively impacts you and you lose the game, then you're kind of on the back foot like 2 times over.
yeah. We
So
saw that against Kelty, like for David Gray's early days, when he made too many changes and then got hammered for it because we got beat.
aye, so like I don't know, like I don't know at the moment that Boyle, for example, has done enough to come back in to replace Cliche, and we don't really have an alternative to Bowie up front. Like, because and what I mean by that is like you obviously have alternatives because you've got Boyle there, you've got Yuan that can potentially play up front, but in terms of like balance and like a variance in your front two, you don't have an alternative to Bowie.
Tam R85 said play Megwa and see how Chaiwa, Milligan, and McGrath are as a 3 for moving forward. We honorary long banger Daniel McBee said hi Daniel. And Chris said, I don't get why we haven't kept Abita in. Abita has been decent and seemed to be dropped because he was away for Uganda. Colin, you made that point, didn't you? Like that he'll be looking at it and going, like, why have I been dropped? Right, it's about this time on a Friday that I like to get some words of wisdom from Professor Fitball. So, Professor Fitball, what have you got for us today?
XG. Doesn't even make sense. I'll use my eyes, thanks.
Excellent. Right, John, how do you see the game going?
I think I've actually not looked at the weather forecast. And the only reason that I mention it is that if it's absolutely teeming down or blowing a gale, I can't see it being a particularly good game of football. However, provided it's relatively mild for the time of year,
We've done more weather on this than we have fucking football, I think. Sorry for swearing, because there's children listening.
I know I'm optimistic of a reasonably good game and a Hibs victory.
Okay, Colin.
It's due to be it's meant to rain second half.
Provided we get the early goals.
Yeah, right. Exactly. What was the question? What do I think?
How do you see the game going?
Hopefully we can get an early goal, take a bit of heat off. I say that every week, Like I always like an early goal. I get it. Some folks say they were scored too early. I should keep that one for
in the bank already. Yeah,
I'll get that down on my wee list. What was that Terry Butcher one? That'll be coming at some point as well. Mind, they scored too early. Let it go.
Takes away the fear. Aye, sometimes conceding an early goal takes away the fear of conceding an early goal.
What a genius. I think it might be a narrow one, 2-1.
Right, 2-1.
Scrappy, hard place to go. Roll the sleeves up. Godson.
I think we'll see a reaction for Wednesday night. I think but we're listening to Rocky and his post-match and David Gray. Gray seemed really annoyed at how the game had gone, the fact that we hadn't taken anything from it. And I think there's a growing sense that we're not taking our chances. Like that's becoming more of a thing. And somebody's going to get the brunt of that at some point, aren't they? I hope so. And I think Saturday's as good a time as any to do it because Livi are not great. We've played them twice. We're pretty much two different teams. and comfortably won both games. Although the cup game was only sort of secured in the last couple of minutes, the performance was, it was one-way traffic, and it was one-way traffic at Easter Road as well. So I think it's going to be a similar story. I'll tip Hibs to go for a 3-0 win. You said 2-1, Colin. John, what's your score prediction?
Do you know, I'm going to go with the law averages. They've conceded 20 goals in 10 games, so I'm going to say it's 2-0 Hibs. I think given the lack of chances that they've created against us in the first couple of games that we played against them, Salinger should feel pretty confident about a clean sheet.
Okay, right. So, Chris, just before we go, Chris said, personally, I don't think Gray can win. He said, doesn't change it. He's accused of being too loyal, changes it, and it doesn't work, and he's accused of making too many changes. Such is the life of a football manager, Chris, isn't it? And Jay said, probably because Nicky better than him and offers more, and they don't work great together, talking about Abita. Okay, right, we will leave it there. That's our preview episode up for today. Thank you to Colin, to Professor Footballer, to John, and the champion of the underdogs. Thank you to everybody who commented and has watched. Please hit the like button. As always, that helps us out, and we will see you on Sunday to talk about whatever happens tomorrow. Catch you later. Cheerio.